everybody. I wanted to take some time and discuss what I've been researching for the last several weeks in this semester. The topic that I have been researching is the difference in reading performance between wealthy adolescents and adolescents living in poverty. First, I assumed that the main reason for the gap is income, just materialistic income with the students' parents. But after some research, I discovered that that is not the only factor. There are many factors. Some of the reasons for the reading gap is psychological factors like lack of motivation, frustration, emotional instability, illnesses, and most of that comes from inadequate health care, less than sufficient living conditions, also physical disabilities. One of the main factors that I discovered that goes along with the reading gap is mother's academic level. I had no idea that that would be a factor, but according to studies, the mother's academic level has a 20% higher effect on reading performance than the father's. And the higher the mother's education, the higher the student's reading performance scores will be. Also, studies show that when books and other materials are available at home, there's a 4-point reading performance increase. So just by having books and other resources available in the student's household, their reading performance growth will be up to 4 points higher. After some research on the reading performance gap in wealthy students and students living in poverty, you would assume that by now schools would pinpoint some of the factors and be able to close this gap. But according to national reading performance scores, they have been relatively unchanged for the last 13 years. So the question I had when researching was, what can be done? What can these school systems and communities for low socioeconomic classes do to help close this gap? Some of the things that I discovered that can be done, there are many things that can be done, and I think maybe the school systems and parents and communities, everybody's kind of playing the blame game, like who is at fault for this? Well, after my research, it's basically everyone's fault. Everybody can play a part in helping close this reading performance gap. No one factor is to blame. So, some of the things that I discovered are there could be parent-teacher correspondence. Teachers could send home weekly newsletters, daily reports on their students' behavior and what they've been learning and kind of what they need help with. Weekly phone calls, monthly conferences, family involvement assignments would be a big help. This would make parents have to be involved in their students' academics. Because lack of parent involvement was one of the main reasons for the reading gap in the first place, along with summer reading loss, not having materials at home during the summer months, and underqualified, unmotivated teachers in these schools. A lot of times teachers don't want to work in these schools, so pretty much these are teachers that are underqualified. They couldn't get a job somewhere else, or teachers right out of school can get in these schools easily. Also lack of funding and resources. So, community involvement would be a big help to close this gap. Health clinics, low-income housing initiatives, child care programs, dropout prevention programs. These would all be great benefits in the community that would help the students' overall academic achievement and increase their reading performance. Schools can also receive funding through government, state, nonprofit grants, as well as volunteers. There are many different ways that schools can get funding to be able to have the adequate resources to help these students improve in their reading performance. Head Start programs and kindergarten readiness programs are a big benefit to these communities. Kindergarten is where it all begins. If a child isn't ready for kindergarten, they're not going to be ready when they go to first grade and on up to middle school and high school. So kindergarten is where programs really need to be implemented to help close this gap as well. Teachers in these low SES schools tend to get frustrated. They don't have the adequate materials, so schools really need to implement professional development programs, rewards maybe for these teachers to do the best they can, go above and beyond to help these students the best of their abilities. Parents, teachers, they all need to feel welcome in their school, so administration needs to make these parents feel welcome, make the teachers feel valued. Teachers need to make the parents feel welcome in their classroom, let them know that they want their involvement and that their student needs their involvement. So in conclusion, what I came up with my research is it's not so much parental income that is the blame for the gap in reading performance between the low SES children and the wealthy. It's many, many different factors. So families, schools, and communities all need to work together in order for these students to succeed academically and improve their reading performance scores. If everyone works together, goes above and beyond, trying the best they can, and stop playing the blame game for who is at fault for the gap, everyone works together, the students' reading performance scores will increase. Thank you.